So I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure having you here again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider no blame. I was watching a Terence McKenna talk with the homies today. We were talking about AI and the future of technology, of human AI symbiosis, where we become integrated into the AI and the AI becomes integrated into us, right? Making us technically more human, allowing us to actually just be human instead of having to deal with all of the complexities that is non-integration kind of vibe. And it made me think about this conversation about Terence McKenna uh, theorizing, idolizing a future that humans basically make our technology completely invisible and all of it becomes integrated. And we access our technology internally, right? Instead of having to use more resources to make more screens, make more buttons, you become the screen and the button kind of vibe. And we watched this after school video where Terence was talking about this rebirthing, this shedding of an old skin, this analogy of a mother that is with child, our earth being with child, and us being that child, and we are expected to be birthed, right? The child cannot stay with the mother forever. And from the child's perspective, it is like a death. It is like a losing of everything you've ever had, the comfort of the womb, right? We are, in so many terms, in the womb right now as a species. And there was this line he dropped about as we move towards a better future, we have to embrace no blame, right? The I Ching, this ring is an I Ching ring. One of the key concepts of the I Ching is no blame. Realizing that within this infinity, blaming doesn't necessarily help, right? Bad things happen, problems arise, and we can point fingers at each other and blame each other, right? No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. You should so and so, right? Or we can work together to solve these problems, right? And I do hope for a future where we solve the problems we have right now, right? With our climate, with our use of plastics, with our use of petrochemicals, ultimately, we'll be able to look back at this point in our history and see ourselves as naive instead of blaming ourselves. All right. I don't think it's helpful blaming ourselves necessarily. Hey Zano, do you blame yourself? Do you blame yourself? Maybe that's a question we can ask ourselves, because blame can very much be an external force projected at someone else. However, we should consider the implications of self blame as well. Blaming ourselves for our own decisions, right? Instead of realizing that our decisions got us to being who we are right now. There's a line in the yoga that I said that resonated with me as well about how it's very easy to blame our younger selves for being stupid or blame ourselves for making mistakes. However, this version of you that is sitting here right now, I did say the line standing here right now, wouldn't stand where you are if not for the mistakes you've made as well, right? Sure, maybe you might not exactly like where you are right now, and in that case, it's also easier to want to blame circumstances, decisions, yourself, right? However, your life is not over, right? And if you can blame yourself for bad decisions you've made, then you can praise yourself for good decisions you're making right now. Truly. It's nice having you friends here. I see Zano saying, hello, lovelies. Bless you again, friend. Kristen here too. Duck Fed as well. When I have PMS, I blame everybody. And then I realize the time in the month and I blame myself. Blame. Hey, Google. define the word blame. Blame, feel, or declare that someone or something is responsible for a fault or a wrong. To feel or to declare that someone or something is at fault or is responsible for a fault. Fault. Maybe that's where we get stuck, right? Because fault is very much ego tied, right? To a creature that revels in the destruction of something, it might applaud you when your dominoes fall over that you've been painstakingly stacking. Applaud you when your castle of cards come falling down. Right? To your ego, that might be wrong. No, I don't want that. That's wrong. However, from a different perspective, your wrong to that ego might be what's right. And again, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying we ought to have the perspective to not blame ourselves or others for these wrongs, right? Because again, even though it might have been wrong, I think that person usually knows. Sometimes they don't, and I admit that too. But sometimes they do know that they were wrong. And adding blame to that fire, I don't think makes them more accountable. I think if anything, it just makes them more resentful of getting caught. Or if anything. Extra layers to not blaming, right? I have slept every minute of the day yesterday that I wasn't pooping. What a rhyme. In a good way, like you were sleepy. I'm happy that you got the rest. Bless you, bro. For literally my entire life, up until a few weeks ago. Yes, I absolutely blamed myself because there was this missing information. I blamed myself for the way I was, not knowing there was trauma involved. Blaming myself for how I am. I think I have moved past that as well a little bit, Sam. Instead of now blaming myself, I do celebrate myself for how I am. I have realized that peculiar as I am, there is room for me. Right? This universe is pretty vast, and my peculiarities haven't gotten me burned at the stake yet. Right? And I trust it won't. I trust that we have moved past that point of our neurosis. Let's call it. Nah, that nausea I had in the morning turned to straight pottery. I felt so weak. I'm sorry, bro. It's very unlikely for me to sleep during the day. I didn't eat a single thing until 5 minutes ago. Sometimes it helps not eating in that state. I'm guessing you're feeling better by the fact that you're eating again. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, Duck Dad. I do blame the shadow government for classifying 4,000 patented inventions a year that makes energy more useful. I mean, they're controlling us with energy right now, Zano. Can you blame them? Right? If you were in power, controlling the power, controlling the electricity, controlling the means of production is advantageous for you. All right? So I don't blame them. I'm not saying what they're doing is right, but I don't blame them. I see them as in the same way, but a product of their own environments. Fortunately, with the internet as it is, we have more environments now than ever. People do change, right? And I can hear some of you go, Mel, I know a bunch of people that don't change. Y'all, know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that the people that are gonna change. As in, one, biologically, technologically, uh, even dimensionally, potentially. But also, literally, people will die and new ones will be born. So those people will change as well. And again, because of our upraising, because of our access to the internet and the suffering of our fellow people, we don't have the same luxury of dissociation that previous generations use as a tool to not think about all of the tragedy, all of the heartache, all of the hunger, all of the war, dismemberment, right? All of that stuff. We didn't have to think about it. We just could plug our metaphorical ears and go la 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 la. Now we can't, right? And the generations that come are very aware of that as well, right? Like our species is more anxious because of the amount of information we have access to. And people are like, oh yeah, social media is the problem. No, no, it's not. Our society is the problem, right? Our social media is but a reflection of our society. And if our social media is causing depression, it's not the social media. It is what is being shown to people, right? If people are being shown stuff that bring them hope, bring them a state of, inspired, a heart liftedness when they look at their social media, they wouldn't be getting more and more anxious, would they? No, no, social media isn't the problem. So what we see is making us anxious. And that anxiety, in my mind at least, can be a good thing. Because one, it makes us aware of how alive we are. And two, at least I hope, it makes us aware of how alive everyone else is. Right? And that's technically the thing we're trying to maintain. What are we making money for if people are dying? Right, needlessly. I mean, that look on Mel's face, having to read that. The duck that comment. My work is done. Not really feeling great, but kid has to go to school, and my biggest plant sale of the year is Saturday, and I'm greatly unprepared right now. Just to add like some more hope to that message. Bless. I hope you and the little one get safe to her school place, and that you get all the time you need to get prepared as you need to be, bro. Saturday is still a while away, bro. It's only Monday, man. You got this. I hope they change. I feel like we haven't been able to properly evolve. Like Mao China. Yeah, weirdly enough, China is doing pretty well, right? Uh, when it comes to their public infrastructure, doing pretty well. Like when one of my wisdom teeth started coming out weird, it hurt me a lot, and it was like causing bleeding and stuff. And I was super stressed about it. So I asked one of my Chinese uh, assistant teachers if he would be able to like accompany me to the doctors. And he took me to the doctors. They x-rayed my face. He showed me what's up. He gave me some medication. And it was something like 46 RMB, which is like 100 Rand, which is like $5. He asked me $5 for getting an x-ray, giving me the imagery of the x-ray, showing me what's up, telling me I don't have to worry that much about it. That won't ruin my face or whatever. And it was pretty stark, right? Like the train infrastructure. Everywhere I went in China, I went by train. Took my bags, put them on the train, and went with it. The stuff that I couldn't take with me, I literally put in boxes, and a dude on a scooter, I'm not even joking, a dude on a scooter took like the amount of boxes I would feel uncomfortable putting in a car. And I watched that dude drive away with my stuff. And I get to my new apartment in Yangzhou, and within 2 days, my stuff is at my door. Right, just left there. Nobody took it. Nobody messed with my stuff. I came back from work and I took my stuff into my apartment. Like they have like an efficiency and a system going there that really works. Unfortunately, they had to, with the amount of people they have. You have to make the system intelligent. But there is an element of believing that people are stupid, right? That I could feel, right? Like a soul crushiness that happens there as well. Maybe it was just my circumstances. Checks out, yeah. Probably just my circumstances. If I was a rich dude in China, I'd probably have a baller time. Great time. But yeah, I guess that's, wherever you are, technically. No. More morning, friends. Morning, Joy. It's nice seeing your name here. My theory is spirit energy that needs to be exercised on a large scale with 0 point energy. I mean, 0 point energy can also be thought of as like a singularity, and a singularity is coming. It is coming, right? And technically, within singularity, we can exist in a state of timelessness. And when we take time away from people, I think it will make it a little bit easier for them to be reasonable, because that's what we stress ourselves out about the most, right? Is the time it will take. You spend all of this time making all of this money, and you think about, oh, it took me this much time, this much life to make this much money, and then you don't want a part of your money because it's directly attached to your life, right? When you don't have time and there is literally infinite resources, what do you do with yourself, right? And guess what? Blame doesn't really fit into that equation either. No. Yeah, China is okay now, but Rishi and Chinese killed smart people for a long, long time, and it slowed their development. Jokes on them, I guess. Because the energy isn't being used there, it's a buildup, and that's why there is so much anxiety and depression used there in China. I mean, weirdly enough, I know we're probably not talking about the same thing, but China is one of the forerunners for proper renewable energy deployment, right? So they can see, what's that word? They can see the leaves floating in the cup, right? Like it's clear. It is clear where our future is heading, and they're basically spearheading that whole initiative. They've installed, last year, China installed more solar than America has in their entire history. Right, like, let me just take a moment to think about that statistic. In 1 year, a country installed more renewable energy than America has in its entire history. That feels wrong almost saying it, but that's kind of the state we're in. And again, renewable energy. Energy is one of the cornerstones that is keeping us back, as a species. The fact that we don't have the energy to do all of the things we want to. But when we, deploy enough renewables, the cost of energy is going to become so marginal. Again, right? Blaming one another for things is going to sound a little bit pointless. We're going to have to solve the problems that we still face when we have all of the energy we need. No, not just China, everywhere. Yeah, we need to turn the pyramids back on. I don't think we have the expertise just yet. I hope the AI can help us with that, but it would be sick turning the pyramids back on. I'm heating up some pineapple chunks, the last of my pineapple chunks. It definitely did taste a change in flavor in the meanwhile. Kind of now tastes like pineapple flavored soap. Again, doesn't sound very appealing, but still tastes nice. It's tasty. One more heat and then putting them down. Alrighty then. My intention for hitting that Dynavap was to melt even deeper into this understanding of no blame. Oh, not even blaming ourselves, right? And there's like an energy in me, the righteous part of me, that feels like there's an injustice There's an injustice to not blaming, right? There may be, and maybe you're like, what do you mean, Mel? For instance, maybe there are a bunch of entities on our planet right now that are actively profiting of exploiting people, exploiting our planet, exploiting our resources that could be utilized for future generations, right? There are people actively doing that right now. And to move past a world where that is even necessary, and then for those people to just feel no sense of remorse, to not blame themselves for any wrongdoing, that feels like an injustice on some level to me. All right? Well, at the same time, what is right now wouldn't be if not for those injustices as well. Right? Like our world as it is right now was built on many injustices. Like a disgusting amount of injustice. It is absurd to really think about what human beings have done to our planet, sure, but to each other. So much blame. So much blame. And blame is one of the most toxic energies we participate within before we start killing each other, right? It's like a very useful one. You blame and then you murder. Easy peasy, right? It's like almost like when you blame, you dehumanize as well, right? You make them already dead. Thinking about the whole, remember that we're all alive, right? And nobody really wants to be blamed for anything. It's a pretty cringe energy. I think those in power are purposely keeping the pyramids off or on, but for their self-use. No, we would know. I think we would know if the pyramids were on, bro. They would be beautiful. They would need to be restored significantly. They're not in the state to be turned on right now, right? It would be like starting a car without. I mean, maybe you could, but it wouldn't be very practical. But it would be like starting a car without any body work, right? There's just like rotten away seats, like just the metal framing. Like maybe a crooked, like stick of a steering wheel. The wheel's gone. The engine is like kind of running, but you can like see the transmission and stuff. wouldn't be practical right now to turn them on, if they even could be turned on, of course. Right? Speculates. I think no, there are theories that there is some formation of black pyramids under the ice in Antarctica. It's a no-fly, no-go zone, obviously, but turn those on to black pyramids under Antarctica. Of course, why not? Why not black pyramids under Antarctica, right? Like my life is not crazy enough having to figure out how to get food all the way to my face every day. Otherwise I die. How about that, bro? What a joke. I think, love again, they could be using our energy and using it, but not closing the circuit back on our planet, like charging alien spaceships like a giant gas station. Yeah, I'm still not sold on the whole getting harvested for energy, Zana. Again, if that is the case, I'll just come straight out and say it. That is so stupid. That's so stupid. I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you know how small human beings are on the scale of this planet? Right? Sure, we're powerful, and I understand the whole, yeah, but Mel, humans produce such incredible psychic energy, right? Psychic energy that can even be seen through the psychic dimension, extending outside of the planet. And I get that. But again, right? There's also the sun. And the sun also has psychic energy, right? Like it literally goes into your psyche, that psychic energy. It like transcends certain concepts, right? It attaches, like there's so many religions that worship the sun as well for the same reason, right? Psychic energy is everywhere. And yeah, if an alien species is advanced enough to get themselves all the way to planet Earth, and their best go-to to refuel their ships is humans and human suffering and the torment and the, like it just doesn't compute to me, bro. Like I would be like very mean, right? When our species, and I'm not saying if, when our species evolves to the point where we have technology that rival, our alien brethren of space. I'd be like a mean alien, right? If the other aliens rock up to me and they're like, "Yo, our technology, you see, is based on making other creatures suffer, and then empowers our devices." I'd go like, "Yeah, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life." Our energy is powered by the stars that are like everywhere and plentiful, and they have energy, bro. Like they give a lot of energy, like so much, more than you can ever hope for billions of years. Yeah, it's nice to hear different theories. Yeah, I'm just being mean to the theory. I don't know, like it doesn't like mesh. I'm still kind of like open to the whole being genetically modified by aliens. I don't know if I believe the whole Anunnaki slave race to mine gold. Again, robots are so much better at mining gold. And again, there are asteroids just in our belt, right, that have more than enough gold. You would create, Dragonoid supermassive spaceships that have massive openings in them that just consume meteors and synth the gold out of them. That would be exponentially easier than creating a slave race on a planet and then using there again. Maybe it's just the engineer in me. Maybe it's my alien genome tech. It's being like, nah, bro, there's better ways to solve these problems. I think those in power. Love again. Starting a car without any body work. I see you've never been to the South of America. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying, if you're trying to use the power that you're producing, right, you want to have some body work. Otherwise, the wind is going to rip you apart. Pyramids are landing pads for spaceships. Was done already. It was an amazing series. 10 out of 5? 10-5. Everyone should watch. Stargate season 1. Stargate is, weirdly enough, very close to my heart, Sam. I think I watched Stargate when I was 11? 10? I was very young. I was too young. I knew while watching Stargate, I'm not actually supposed to be watching this. I felt them showing me stuff that I was like, oh shit, this is some real shit. Like all of the other media, most of my life I was exposed to was like vetted by my parents, my fundamental Christian parents, right? So there was like a certain lens of stuff that I could see. And then I get Stargate. Like my dad had episodes on his episodes and a hard drive he gave his friend to give him shows, right? So he didn't even know what was on that hard drive, but I did. I watched Futurama on that as well, and I was also not supposed to watch it. Then my dad deleted it when he found out. Deleted the whole, like all 5 seasons or something. I was devastated. But yeah, Stargate. Those little wormy things are still messing with me. Sam, the people are they the worms? How are the worms controlling them? Stargate. I would 100% be one of the explorers. Oh man, I'm just thinking about like stepping into a different world. No knowledge, no knowing what's on the other side. What a cool show. We should watch Stargate again. Weirdly enough, and I think you'd like this, I was thinking about you. We put on randomly season 3, episode 1 of Picard. And it's good. Well, it's not bad, I'll say. It's very Star Trek, I'll say. It's the first Star Trek thing I've seen in a very long time, and since you're so Star Trek, I thought you would like know it. Just a theory, I don't 100% believe it, but it's good to talk about, to consider, at the very least. Robots are so much better at mining, yeah, but if you hate humans, it'd be a shame to just let them do whatever they want, instead of grinding them back into the dirt they dared to rise from. But why not the rest of the creatures, right? Why not the monkeys? Why not the cows? Imagine big ass jacked bipedal cows with like 500 kilogram. Maybe that's too much. That might be a little bit too much. 200 kilogram pickaxes, right? Absolutely mangling some dirt. I would want to see that. Oh, well, that's another note we didn't consider, Sam. It could have just been maniacal evil scientistry, right? Just like me in my most evil state, wanting to scientist. Let's make the monkeys mine. Let's make them mine gold. We're talking about the Anunnaki gold mining fractal, dude. We put on thicker. Oh, baby, season 3 is a beautiful lesson on brinksmanship. Brinksmanship? And the cost of war. Enjoy, my dear. Thank you. We are planning on watching more of it, so there will be that fractal. Hey, Jovan is blessing us. All of you, near and far, here and there, worky lurky. Love you all. Love you, too. Thank you, Jovan. Not the sun. We used to worship Saturn when it was the biggest thing in the sky. Then it got knocked further out during the Younger Dryas. Stargate is so real. I mean, I don't know if real as in like maybe you're talking about the real of like the realness of the lessons they're trying to put through. That I agree with. My autistic brain is like, no, Stargate is not real. No, it's not. No Stargate's TV show. Stargate not real. Relax, dude. Trying to relax yourself. It might be helpful to source some information from Deep Space Nine regarding the Millennium War, but you can get along well enough without it. Yeah, like they're making it very. Yeah, people are just gonna randomly put on season 3 and start watching the show, and we should make it so that they can still enjoy it. They did that pretty well. There's still some green left in this. Since this is the last of my pineapple chunks, I will not be wasteful. Sam, I might just use that idea on my new D&D character worldview. It's a druid rabbit that hates the way humans develop the Feyland. What would a rabbit be like as a Feyland architect? Can you also see the arches? I don't know why I'm seeing arches, but there's arches, surely. It's cool, and it could be real. Yeah, it could be. It would, I mean... the autistic scientist is like, actually, I don't know if we got the wormhole tech just yet. And again, the whole thing that makes Stargate so cool is the fact that the gates exist everywhere else, right? That's like a little bit of a bottleneck for the tech. A little bit of the eye of the needle would be a little bit hard to come through. Could the Anunnaki stop the butt rage? It would be more productive mining gold. I mean, yes, technically, Brown, but they hate you, don't you? Don't you just hear Sam? They want you to butt rage. And then they want to whip you while you're butt raging to get back to mining gold. Obviously. Where have we gone? No blame. Yeah, no blame. Yeah, suddenly that feels good. Just acknowledging that in this stream, we're not blaming. I can't be blamed for anything right now. I am completely unblameable. Start saying the most heinous things. No. They could, but any solution they'd engineer for you would ultimately be under their control, and the butt rage would continue regardless of the solution being in place because you're a human. Sam, oh well, I tried. I mean, we're figuring it out though. Like with AI popping up the way it is right now, and genome editing coming online pretty much at the same time, there will be ways to cease the butt rage. There will be ways, I believe. The aliens don't have to do it for us, we'll do it ourselves. With help, from our sideys. I can't stress how much some of those alien races hate us. Why do they hate us so much? Are we so cool? I don't know why, but the idea, and I don't believe it that much, but the idea of aliens hating me brings me happiness. Kind of brings me like a sense of like importance. I think is maybe the right word. It's like, bro, you hate me. I don't even think about you. I don't even know you exist. I say to the aliens. Joke's on you, bro. I, for one, welcome my higher being overlords. At least I don't have to listen to humans anymore. Uh, I guess I can get behind your logic there. Right? At least the higher beings are literally higher beings. So when they tell you stuff, you can assume it's coming from higher beingness. You'll get higher by being. Yeah, totally. That's exactly what's gonna happen. I actually think so. Like seriously, if you do like verbatim listen word for word to what a higher being is telling you to do, won't you get higher? Maybe not chemically, but at least in some level. Or maybe you would get lower and lower as you serve something other than yourself. Yeah, get deep with it. Zum, 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 zum. Or they might fall in love with us and create Nephilim. Yeah. Of course, human women are extremely beautiful. Can you? I can't blame them. Boom, boom. No blame. I've met us, so it's hard to say that that feeling isn't valid. Make butt blaster babies, no please. Zano, I submit myself for alien human procreation program initiate. If not, why not? As Melt says. You know, usually I would be appalled that you quote me in something like that, but if not, if not, why not? Talk that. As season 1, episode 1 of South Park comes to mind, Duck, the OG. Wait, do what? I don't want anyone hating me. Whatever I know them or not, lol. Yeah, I know. I'm just kind of like ripping. I'm just ripping on like, yeah, aliens. Some aliens hate us. And then me taking that hatred is like, okay, why though? Why don't you spare yourself the energy, bro? I don't even know you exist. Don't hate me, bro. Like, come and hit the Dynavap with me. We can talk about why you hate me, bro. I'll ask. I'll listen. I'll listen. I'll take your feedback. I hate you because this, and that. And I'll be like, huh. I don't know if I'm changing any of those things to make you hate me any less, but noted. Noted. I will think about it. Here comes the pro. Maybe your stick us no please. Yeah, it's no blame. I said no blame, and then everybody was like, "Oh wait, liberties are gonna be taken." Zano, oh great, now I can't stop. No please, I'm going to have 2 kids. The probe of justice. Well, Sam, like you were like chats off rails, and then Duck Dad was like, "Oh yeah." And then he does like sick burnouts on the rails, 360 sick burnouts. Zano, oh great, now I'm not gonna read that again. I take full responsibility so that you can't blame me and feel bad. Double Nephilim coming out of. I didn't think about Duck birthing the children, like I think you friends were like joking about that. My brain was completely dissociating. But I think that last comment from Zana is the one that solidified the imagery in my mind. Bro, now you have giant babies, bro. Your child is like 5 years old and 7 foot tall. He eats 200 kilograms of food a day. He bankrupts you. You're literally like planting your entire garden full of vegetables. And they're just like eating all of it in a day. Giant babies, of course. Well, look at it from their perspective. We are wasteful, intentionally, sometimes, cruel species. It must be difficult for truly higher beings to witness what happens here. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. Pungent, I think, is a good word. Hey Google, define pungent. Pungent, to have a sharply strong taste or smell of comment, criticism, or humor. To have a sharp or a caustic quality. Yeah, yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think it's good. That word definitely fits. Earth can be very pungent, but in the same way, flowers can be pungent, and that's a good thing, surely. So maybe that pungent is a quality that we do seek as souls when we come to this experience. Food is very pungent. At least some food is. The good food is pungent, right? Sometimes. I guess it depends, right? If you're drinking a glass of milk and it's pungent, that might be a sign of, sign of concern. Liberties will be taken. No, we are nice. The internet gives us warm. Gives us a bad rep. Yeah, it's true. I think so as well, actually, Zano. I think humans are generally good. I do, actually. I just think that the most negative, the most pungent parts of humanity are the parts that rise to the top because we're like, oh, in shock looking at this stuff. I am done with my sick burnouts. I must work. Bless you, bro. One bad apple don't spoil the bunch. Yeah. I believe the existence of Rule 34 does in fact spoil the whole bunch. There are apples. There are apples being seen in ways that apples were never supposed to be seen. And yet, an apple doesn't cease to be nice to eat. Sam. That apple isn't spoiled. I can still enjoy my apple. Thank you very much. How are you going to fit giant babies in 5'5" Doug? I don't want to. No, bro. Like, I don't want to think about that either. Thank you very much. I'm going to think about heating up this Dynavap instead. And then hitting it with the intention of getting ready to pull a card for you, friends. No blame. No blame. But that's what it looks like when you bite off more than you can chew. Oh, good. Let's get ready. Whoa. Okay, mercy. Thank you. Ooh. Who's the Abba? The prawn is prawn. That's not everyone's problem. They do use it to destabilize us. Back in the day, you had to pay for prawn. Not everything is free. Just not everything free eventually comes with a price. The problem for me, and this is like, it's weird that I'm transitioning from the whole free thing, but sex is technically a very high stakes situation to be in, right? And technically, for the longest time, the only way that our biological system, our sensors, our eyes, for example, at the very least, was able to see a naked person, right, of the opposite sex or of a desired sex, the only way to do that was to actually do that, right? Like to be charming enough, to be lovable enough for a person to become that vulnerable with you. And for me, the thing that I find troubling about pornography is the fact that it gives you access to all of the preliminary steps, but it doesn't actually give you access to the intimacy that usually followed those preliminary steps, right? The seeing of a naked person, but none of the intimacy associated with it. All right? And I think that, in and of itself, is destabilizing, to use Zano's word. They oversex Netflix. Yeah, some of the stuff, definitely. They turn most popular things into smut. It's all big bamboozle, trying to feed into base pleasures. And then they got you back by your puppet strings if you were addicted to that stuff. Porn, lust, sexuality, none of it is wrong. Yeah, and again, like we are getting like dangerously close to blame right now. I can feel it. Can you feel the blame? So there's like there's parts of us that wants to like no blaming. There's nothing wrong, as Sam says. What happens is that humans use the existence of erotic imagery to excuse the fact that they do not have control over themselves. It is a mechanism by which particularly disgusting humans use to fool themselves into thinking they're successfully passed the blame onto someone or something else. Yeah, I feel like me and Sam were touching on the same parallel, but just like a little bit off, right? Do you agree with me with the whole fractal of like that that like lack of control, right? The individual that doesn't lack that control, you know, might in a different fractal, right, rip the clothing of a woman to see her naked. But in this fractal, they might have access to, a cell phone and the internet. Right? And there's like an excusing of themselves maybe into that fractal. And maybe it is better, right? Again, maybe it is better that they have that outlet instead of actually, assaulting a person. However, I don't think that necessarily, and I'm getting so close to blame again, so close to blame. I don't think it excuses the behavior, right? Or maybe the internal pattern that leads to that behavior. And then again, we can talk about our media, like the whole Netflix fractal that was mentioned. So much of our media has hypersexualized both sexes, right? Like it's not a just women thing. Like the men in Hollywood are very hot as well, right? Very jacked, super jacked dudes, right? Thor is a heartthrob. I want to look like Thor, right? But Thor uses steroids. Thor uses steroids, and they don't tell you that. They were like, hey, bro, just by the way, while you're watching this movie, this guy gets paid a lot of money to eat very good food, to pay a very good trainer, to get the exact right amount of steroids dosed into this dude's body, and then works out relentlessly to look a certain way for a few shots. Right? They don't make that clear to you, but our psychology ceaselessly tries to self-better, right? It reflects off this world. And the stuff we've been shown, unfortunately, is a certain mold of what right is. Right? And you ought to blame yourself if you don't look right. Man, that felt good to say, even though it was kind of painful. It's not true. You are beautiful. Right? There's a post that a friend posted, Liam. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, look at this. I think your friends would like it. All your spots and cracks do not make you any less beautiful. I love myself. That little froggo loves himself because he knows. He knows that's all it takes. All it takes. No blame, just self-love. Oh, no. I really want to smoke a little weed, but this illness came with tons of mental fog. But no, I'm anxious about the mental fog and I want to smoke it away, thus repeating the cycle. Yeah. I mean, I was also very mental foggy, and I don't have any children or have to drive my children to school kind of vibes. But I added to the fog. And it helped me sometimes, right? It made me feel a little bit more instead of just right, like a little bit of a like twisty. I mean, it's an addiction, not an excuse. Yeah, that's true as well. Mel just got a spicy one. Yeah, I added a little bit too much heat on that one. Like like a little bit too much, and I really went for it as well. And it was like, oh, I bet. Oh, you want some? I'll give you some. An addiction happens not because of the failing of poor choices. It is to help cope with pain. Helping cope with pain. I'm trying to apply that wisdom directly to my own experience. Pain comes in so many flavors as well, so I do agree. There's a really good after school video Gabriel made about just that. We watched an after school video today, Jovan, with Terence McKenna, and it was that video that inspired today's stream topic. So the fact that you're suggesting another one is very synchronous and blessed. Gabriel made, bless. Oh, Melty. Thank you, friends. Thank you, friends, for being here for these moments. You're like, oh, melting, and I'm like, if you weren't here to hear my words, there would be nothing of feeling said, right? There would just be words that I would feel the words, right? But it's transitory. Right? Maybe I can make you feel something that can make you feel something again, and then you see something that makes you feel something that makes you feel the things you felt, right? And that's what I'm about. I love that stuff. That's the best. Let's pull a card, shall we? Me and John were talking a lot about sacred geometry as well today, so I feel it's appropriate to pull a card from this deck. Yeah. Yeah. Card number 19. Swallow the sun. We talked about the sun, like very poignantly, like, yes, sun energy. The auric field that the sun creates around it. And the sacred geometry deck is like, yeah, dude, gotcha, bro. I know what you're talking about. Look at this. Look at that fields. Look at them energies. Look at the swallows creating contrast. Little burbies, of course. Of course. Because why not? Why not the little burbies? Red? No. It's yellow. Is there some red in here? There's some red lines. I mean, they're more orange. Maybe red next time. Let's pull. Maybe one more afterwards. We can see if the red was right. One more time. And then I'll read for you, friends. Dreams and visions. Nope. Love you. The sun. Just like, this is stripping me out. Like, instantly. I didn't even start reading this. But this line, like, I literally dropped this line in stream today. The fact that so many cultures have worshipped the sun. And it's like, that's what this card talks about directly. The sun is celebrated throughout the world as a giver of life. And in some cultures as a god. Both the ancient Greeks and Romans worshipped one or more solar deities. And in Hindu literature, the sun is mentioned as the visible form of God that one can see every day. Aztec, Incan, and Egyptian traditions all held the sun in godly accord. Whatever your spiritual belief, it is clear that our sun represents a psychological principle that transcends time and place. The vibrant geometry of the sun card invites you to explore its symbolism and its ability to illuminate and guide you. Swallows swoop and play in the solar portal, encouraging you to see a light-hearted reflection of your dreams and visions. Dreams, whether in sleep or the musings of reverie, will offer clues to your internal process. Vision directs your path and offers you a sense of purpose, vitality, and life force. What messages have you dreamed? Has your dreams offered lately? What progress are you making towards the realization of your vision? Meditate with this card and consider these questions. Do not be hard on yourself. No blame. If you are not happy with your progress, realize that when you push too hard, you may actually be resisting the thing you most desire. Relax with your positive intentions as you bring your finest dreams and visions into this reality. That's trippy, you know, that's pretty wild. One more card, Zano. You want to guess again? Or you want to keep the red? You gonna give me a red card? A red card? I mean, the center point, the place you are drawn to, is very red, very red. You wanna guess the red one? I feel like this is also so synchronous with the no blame. Very impressive. It is purple. Look at you, Zano. That like focus point being like super red, and the rest of the card being super purple. Look at you being like on it. Yeah. Super cool. All right, peace offering. Again with the no blame energy. Live peace, pray peace. Depicted on this card are vortices of peace doves spiraling over a high background of dark storm clouds. The hearts are created by golden spirals and form the core of intention, held by hands seeking peace. As we view world events in these times, it is disheartening to hear of war, conflict, and aggression. Many feel powerless, incapable of action, and defenseless in the face of the outrage. How can we be empowered? Both quantum physics and metaphysical thought affirm that by our intentions, we create our own reality. No matter how dark it may seem, humankind is evolving. This card symbolizes prayers offered with the conscious intention of hearts everywhere to shift from darkness and fear to love and compassion. It advises you not to lose hope, but rather to live in peace in whatever way you are able. Be it by your actions and intentions. By your actions and intentions, you will accelerate the process of creating true peace. Both your prayers and your efforts in the community to actively live peace and support those who are like-minded will aid in shifting the balance. In so doing, recognize that you are assisting the evolution of consciousness towards a world in which peace is truth. and not solely a dream. Recognize that you are assisting the evolution of consciousness towards a world in which peace is truth and not solely a dream. When I closed my eyes, I saw this little heart with like these fingers of energy coming out of it. Ah, love is true. Lol, yes, yeah. I feel you being super stoked about that. It makes me happy. I'm happy that I prompted it as well, and no one gave you a second to send it before showing. Love is true. I had fun. No blaming with you. Didn't it feel good? Do you feel a little bit less self-blamed? I was talking about peace last night to my partner. Peace is what we want. All of us just want peace, right? I do consider myself a masculine entity, and I do believe that it is something the masculine needs, but I believe all of us have masculine energy. And peace. Peace. My masculine seeks nothing more than it seeks peace. To be at peace. To be free from worry. Right? But I realized as well that that peace doesn't come unless I have climbed the mountain to sit atop it. Right? I'll say it in so many words. Thank you, friends, for bringing me peace, bringing me comfort, and knowing that you friends will be here for me. Thank you for letting me be here for you. I appreciate you. I think Jovan might be on the road right now. Or in work right now. Probably worky lurky, probably at work right now. So I will say, it's something that passed down in our families that we can't sit down without feeling guilty or feeling like there is so much to do. There is. There is a lot to do. There it is. Jovan still sent us our goodbye message. Zano interrupted me perfectly enough so I can give Jovan a second as well. I don't know if it's passed down as much as it's just societal, right? That because of the current, again, linear understanding we have of reality and linearity to our currency, like you fill this bar and then this bar gets chopped down by your living and then you have to fill this bar again, right? It's linear. It's very low dimensional, right? And it literally forces you into a lower dimensional way of thinking and existing in this world, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't think it's something to blame, but it is something we're going to emerge from soon enough. Change is the only constant. Nothing lasts, including the nonsense we're facing right now. Thank you, Jovan, for sending us a goodbye message. I can say, have the most responsible day. Everyone, you're for realsers and truthsies. So very super duperly treasured. Metaphor mount more. And all of you also very cognitively, assiduously, assiduously, is it assiduously? Assiduously, conscientiously, diligently, circumspectively, incisively, ridiculously, rectitudously, nice, attentively, authentically, wholesome, humanimal, critter creatures, leaving behind Blaine's shadow and moving towards your light. Thank you, Chopin. The neighbor's home. Thanks, Donkey. Bless that donkey. Bless our neighbors. Bless you. Thank you again. Learning how to sit in peace is a practice. I was feeling really sad last night, going to bed, and I thought, love is art is love, and art is everywhere. It made me feel good. I've been doom scrolling, yeah. Spare yourself. Spare yourself the doom scrolling. Love yourself. Give yourself moments of peace. I look forward to seeing you friends again here soon. My mother-in-law is the same way, Zano. Can't relax to save her life. Literally. Learn to fall in love with a story told through a video game, Zano. Video games improve hand-eye coordination. True as well. Like, could be useful. And video games really like allow you to tell the story with them, so I appreciate you friends being a part of this story today. I'll see you friends again very, very soon. Tomorrow. Goodbye now.